The following program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello viewer, welcome to our today's episode on Chungu cha Jamii with me, Kate Waliaro. As usual, we have great conversations going on in here in Chungu cha Jamii, which is encompasses a host of societal issues. And today we have one very topic that is going to stir you up and get you thinking about your own life. And it is building your emotional intelligence. Now with me, I'm not alone. I am with a powerful woman, a wonderful woman, and one who is also going to seriously stir you up. So I'm going to introduce you to her. You're welcome to introduce yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy again to be here today. My name is Pearl Blessing. I'm the founder of Star with Pearl. My name is Pearl, so I star you. It's me starting you up to realize and know what you don't know. Set you out of your comfort zone and cause you to realize you can get to your destiny. And today we are here for that topic. And thank God.
Yeah, we are very happy to have you, Madam Pearl.
Yeah.
And we have a wonderful topic.
Yeah.
And it is on us building our emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Because I think as we do life, people only focus on building their IQ, which I think is inborn, and we build to it. But then there's also another facet of life that is emotional quotient or emotional intelligence that a lot of people ignore.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important. So to begin with, so that our dear viewer can understand, what is emotional intelligence?
Okay. Emotional intelligence is the ability to use, to handle, and to be able to apply, to know how to handle your emotions and the emotions of people around you.
So not just my emotions, but even for those around me.
Yeah. If you handle yours and you are not able to handle others, still you have not achieved.
Okay.
So the difference between the IQ and EQ, the IQ is that ability to be able to apply knowledge that you have. But if you have that IQ and you lose EQ, you lose it in life.
You lack a balance.
You lack a balance and you will lose. The other one will lose value because it is usually about character, behavior, how you handle things, how you respond to issues. So if your emotional intelligence is high, you are able to look at people's emotions around you and be able to hold. Or you, as when you were stirred up into anger, you are able now to take time and be able to cool off and know how to handle that.
So emotional intelligence in a snapshot is being able to handle my own emotions and for those around me.
Yeah.
And you said that if one has high EQ and lacks emotional intelligence, then there's a chance that they will not be building into anything.
They become more stupid than when they didn't have it, because you are too intelligent. You are known as the best person. Maybe you are best in education, but you are not able to handle emotions. You do very stupid things in the presence of people, and you dishonor yourself. So for you to maintain your integrity, you must work on your game.
You must work on your emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Because like you said, someone can be very intelligent when it comes to books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then when you lack, I think even our viewer can think of maybe cases where they've seen people who are very intelligent when it comes to schoolwork and, the far...
Even in greatness, but when that person is stirred up into anger,
becomes a mess, a total mess.
And it's natural to all of us. Because let me tell you, getting angry and being stirred up into your emotions, it is here with us. You can never avoid it. It's inevitable. It is all over you, in the family, in your place of work, and the way you are. You will be stirred up into anger, into bitterness, and maybe someone to cause you to feel, why are you doing this to me? But there's what we call the response and the stimulus. Between the time when someone does that to you and how you respond, you have some time here to say, let me be emotionally intelligent, and you cool off. Yes.
So why is it so important to build into this emotional intelligence as we do life?
Because in life, you know, that is about your daily life. Let's say left your house in the morning, you had a quarrel maybe.
Yeah.
If you're not able to control your emotions, you'll bring what you had in your house to your place of work and affect other people. But if you're able to handle, use, and perceive, and work on it, you will shut it down. It will not affect the people around you.
So
That's
you
why you
leave it
cannot
there.
work on yours and not other people's emotions. If you look at your own emotions and you don't care about other people around you, you don't live alone. This world is for people. There is no world of yourself. Yes, yes.
So one has to be aware of their own emotions.
Number one, it is
and
about
others.
self-awareness and other people's social awareness. Social awareness, anybody after you.
So that
So
if
there are two.
I am aware of the emotions that I had in the morning and I had a quarrel, I leave it there, or will I solve it, or I just leave it there and move on to another
It is you
thing?
to know how. That's where the intelligence has to come. You have to know how to shut things that has to do with you inside you. Because if you say that kind of thing that has happened to you, you'll quarrel with everybody in the stairs and in the lift.
Yeah.
Then utapata conductor kwa matatu na yeye akuongelesha vibaya, inaamuka ile ya nyumbani, unaona? So but if you are able now to know, okay, what has happened, I'm able to cool off and let it be, then you work it out on yourself. But haimaanishi, unajua kuna watu wana shut, then you become very bitter because you don't talk, you don't do anything, you shut things. One day they'll burst, and that's people are killing themselves. And let me tell you, emotional intelligence and suicidal behavior, they are not far from each other. If you are not able to work on your emotional intelligence, suicide itakukaribia.
Yeah.
Because you are either, unaweza pata mwingine anakuwa very happy, na mwingine anakasirika sana, na ajui how to handle things. In our previous every episode, we talked about men and their wives.
Yeah.
And if you imagine that, if that man is abused by his wife, his emotional intelligence will go down.
Yeah.
And that he will not apply those things when he goes out. Atafanya vitu ambazo zieleweki. That is why you have to work on your personal your own emotional intelligence and the social. So it is social awareness and self-awareness. Then self-management and relationship management. Relationship is within the social. So you have to carry the four of them. So I'm aware of myself. I have weakness. I get hungry very, 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 very easily. I've looked at myself maybe. Nikaangalia, nikaona maishani, nimepoteza a lot of things sababu ya henga. Because sometimes, hizo emotions huwa zinafanya, you can even lose a very good potential relationship because of talking carelessly. But as I've said, there's something called stimulus and response.
So,
Ako ka period, inaweza kubadilishia maisha ama ikakuharibia maisha. How you respond.
So when you talk of stimulus, I'm guessing there are things that will arouse different feelings in us. So like we have anger and there are other.
In fact, that works usually on anger. Yeah. So let's say someone wrongs you and you are angered, and maybe unaona muongei mnaelewana, then you walk out on that person. By the time you walk out on that person, already you are heated up. The person you find, the first person you find, if you are not able to control emotions, you apply the same to that person. But if you are emotionally intelligent, you are able to know, okay, this has happened. I shut it into myself. I'll work on it later. Because when things happen, usually give it time. It's something we usually call silent treatment. Usually some people who are not emotionally intelligent, they use silent treatment.
Yeah.
And it is a dangerous thing, especially in relationship and in marriages and even in place of work. Mtu anaanza basi tuache mimi nyamaze. Anainyamazia. Lakini the kind of kunyamaza amenyamaza, it is worst action than speaking with your mouth.
It's poison and fire boiling within.
Yeah, but it also, the way ana react, the body language speaks louder than speaking with the mouth. Because silent treatment, it usually happens very much in marriages. Maybe umepiga makelele, mtu anaamua hii kelele yako, basi utakuwa unapiga peke yako. Anakuangalia tu. But that time amenyamaza, kuna vitu mingi sana zimefungiwa. But if you are emotionally intelligent, you are able to bring that person back na unarudisha ile joy.
Because I'm thinking of someone now who have shut another out, and they giving this silent treatment. It is, I think, okay, nikiangalia, it's more of a two-way or a two-edged sword, because the moment I'm silent, it doesn't mean...
You speak volumes than your words.
And it doesn't mean that I'm happy because I'm quiet. It means that also this anger is tearing me out. The thoughts that I have deep within, they will cause issues within me, and also it will fight the other person. So
yeah. Now, it is not good. It is even worse than fighting. Silent treatment is bad. But usually, people with low emotional intelligence, they use silent treatment in communication. Yes.
And this silent treatment, in a way, it will look like it is intelligence of some
but
sort.
It is not good. Usually, what happens, like, let me talk a bit about the silent treatment. In silent treatment, the best way is to, when you realize you want to bring it to an end, do not use, if I'm talking to you, let me not look like I'm accusing you. I'll use an I statement, like, I think we can talk. I think I was wrong. It is very easy to bring it out. But if I start, we umezoea tu kunyamazanga, inaendelea kunyama. But if I use an I statement, it's like, I'm bringing the blame on me even if I was not wrong. It's very easy to bring back the flow. Otherwise, you may go for long. Another trick ya kumaliza hiyo is laughter. Have you known something about laughter? If I start laughing now, automatically she will laugh. And she doesn't know why she's laughing. So, unaweza toka na huko nje na watoto. Unachekesha mtu anaingia kicheka. Huyu alikuwa ongeangi, mnampata amecheka. Then utatafuta mahali pa kuingilia.
Okay. But sasa kuna kicheko that is sarcastic.
No. Hiyo ya laughter, hiyo ya kupewa hivyo. Haikuwa ni sarcastic. Nakwambia na unaponanga kabisa ni dawa. Laughter is the medicine. Yeah, let's go back to emotional intelligence.
Now, emotional intelligence. When it comes to things that are forcing us, or rather pushing us to the lower side of emotional intelligence, there are triggers that push us there. Which are some of these triggers? Because in anger, because emotions are anger, frustrations, depressions, and all this. And before they get there, before someone gets to such a point, it means their emotional intelligence is on a lower level.
Usually you go first to background. And remember we said confidence. When you work on confidence, everything else will fly away from you. Because for you to be emotionally emotionally low, you must be something wrong about your confidence.
Sure.
There is an environment maybe you have grown around. Shapata umelelewa kwa boma ya makelele. Ama watu wanadharau your family. Ama maybe unakutana na mtu unajua anadharau mama yako. When you look at that person, you feel wewe mwenyewe ameshukisha mamako na akakushukisha wewe.
Ukweli.
You see? So you cannot face that person because kuna vile amekuleta chini. There's a scripture I usually like using. I took one scripture on this. It is Proverbs chapter 12 verse 25. Anxiety in a man's heart weighs him down.
Anxiety in a man's heart weighs him down.
Hapa anxiety is the key thing. And the Bible inasema be anxious of nothing. In Philippians chapter 4.
Yeah.
But I took this one particular. Anxiety in a man's heart weighs him down, but good words makes him glad.
Yeah.
Ni kama ile tuliongelea pale.
Good words,
so wakati mtu amekuwa na anxiety, ako emotionally low. And what causes you to be anxious? There are things that you want done and they are not done the way that you want them. There's an environment. Unajua environmental factors around us affect how we behave, how we do things. Ukienda upate maybe chukuanga na example ya Naivasha. Kama unapitanga hiyo barabara. Tunyumba tote na Naivasha ni too short.
Yeah.
Sasa mtu alijenga hivyo na environment ya hiyo area watu wote wanajenganga tunyumba too short. Unakaangalia kana kama mlango unakuanga wapi. So environment where you have grown up. The way you are treated, the way you are talked to, maybe kutoka your childhood. If you don't arise and work on your confidence, ndio umalize ile ya kwanza, utakuwa emotionally low. Because background is very key. But now if, as we have said, to grow your emotional intelligence to be up, lazima you work on your self-awareness.
Yeah.
Jielewe we ni nani. Who are you? As you said, where are you here? And how great, how God looks at you. Jiangalia ufikirie au vile Mungu anakuangalianga. Because emotional intelligence being low is about people keep putting you down. Nikupatia a very good example. Mtoto wa Mwarabu akipitia hapa tu, kakijana ka 10 years. Kuna vile kanapita tu na kame chin up.
Yeah.
Mama yake huwa anamwita king, anamwambia mambo makubwa.
Yeah.
Kangine kametoka Murang'a, kanaitangwa umbwa.
Mjiga.
Kanaambiwa ni kamjinga, unakaa kama baba yako, unakaa kama mama yako, kanakaanga ta. Inakuanga tu isha kuingia. So when you arise and you realize, work on yourself. Now you have discovered have self-awareness, understand who you are, and work on self. Mimi naambianga watu I'm the best in town. Usione mtu mwingine ako better than you. Ndio sasa kweti ya kwanza wewe mtu mwingine akuje kukwambia how good you are.
Yeah.
You must see yourself as the best. Even the Bible knows the same. Maandiko inasema love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Yeah.
So because it starts with you.
Exactly.
Yes. Huwezi kuniambia unavuka barabara unashika mtu umvukishe na wewe usimame ugongwe. It starts with you.
Nyuma.
Yeah. You have to love yourself, work on self, invest in self. Na ukianza kufanya hivyo, emotions will go high.
Yeah.
Because utakuwa wewe mwenyewe umejiona unafaa. Lakini ushaiona ni kama hiyo kiatu ni vile inakaa, I think so and so should wear it. It's like I don't qualify. What is special with that person? That you are not. You are an idea of God. He is an idea of God. Lakini kwa sababu umelelewa kuona kama kuna vitu asikufai, ni kama za watu fulani, ni kama unaona hii nyama kilo moja tupelekee kina fulani wakafuke pike, si tupike sukuma, because mnaonanga they are better than you. You have to stop that. See yourself as number one, work on self, invest in self, and discover self. Then you go to social.
No, sahi ndo naelewa exactly. When you talk of self-awareness, it is entailing, from the background, being aware of what has made your emotions to be low.
Yeah.
Working on them and realizing there's one thing you've said. You've said of being the idea of God. Being the idea of God. There's nowhere that God made any mistakes now when I think about that. And in realizing the true purpose of God and me being an idea of God and what God has an idea, what God sees me as, then I don't have any business in being, being in that cocoon of what society or where my background, what my background has shown me to
what
be.
What people say about you.
Then this automatically raises my confidence.
Yes.
And then automatically I get a high emotional intelligence.
You chin up and walk high.
Yeah, like the queen and the king that we are. Now I get that.
I told you, in every woman there's a queen and there's a girl.
Yeah.
In a man there's a king and there's a boy. Huyu mtoto wako ndani yake kuna wakati ataka kucheza na ataka kutawala. Akizuiliwa kutawala, emotions zake zinaenda chini. Unaona? The queen akikosa kupata nafasi yake to express her queenness. Utampata tu anakaa tu kama anataka kufly, ajielewi.
Wow.
Depression, stress, na hasa magonjwa mengi kabisa yenye inaua watu inaleta mpaka cancer. It's about how you handle emotions. Yes. But you work on your confidence. You fight all battles.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you live the best life.
Nikwambia kitu moja niliambianga, mimi nilikuwa mtu muoga sana hiyo ya kuona watu unashtuka unasikia maji imejaa kwa tumbo. We went for an interview somewhere. And someone, mtu simjui na Mungu ambariki because I've never seen that person again. Alitupata we were seated as a team tukitafuta kazi, wakati wa kutafuta kazi. Akatuona vile tunashtuka akasema, "Cheni niwaambie. Hizo wamevaa ni masuti. Mtoe hiyo suti." Hautamwogopa. Usitake kuona the nakedness. You're not about looking at the nakedness of that person. But strip them out that what they are wearing, because that's what you are fearing. Then you sit there, questions utajibu bila kuogopa. From that time, hata niweke Queen Elizabeth hapa tutapiga story na yeye. I don't fear anything.
Now, from then on, then I think you're walking now in the air of being emotionally intelligent woman.
Yeah, you have to accept that. There's nothing special about that person. It is just a position amepewa. Akufanyia interview, akupatie job. Lakini ukiingia hapa ukitetemeka, unauliza swali mpaka zinapotea zote kwa sababu ni mtu unaogopa.
Well, I think a lot of people here in the world are living way beneath the what we can call at the bottom of emotional intelligence, because nobody have known who they are, and they perceive other people to be better than them. But the moment we see that there is no difference between amongst the creations of God, then automatically you live in a different frequency.
Yes, yes.
Of being happy and knowing who you are in the eyes of God and even in the eyes of man.
Yes.
And you have no business in being low.
Yeah, you don't. You're the best. Yeah. You ask me, Pal, how are you? I say I'm the best in town. I'm trying to fight someone putting me down.
Wow. My dear viewer, I hope you can listen to this, because many days we have walked, with low emotions, thinking that we are not good enough, and we don't have any business with that kind of emotions. We do not have any business with being angry, being frustrated, being depressed, because the society and our backgrounds have put us in certain cocoons that force us into low emotional intelligence. But when you think about the idea that God has about your life, the person who you are, then automatically your confidence rises, as Paul is telling us. I hope you're also noting down these things, because it's so profound. So I wish you could take a breather, take a glass of water, and make sure you don't go away. We are coming back with a lot more.
Everywhere, GBS.
My dear viewer, we are continuing with our conversation on emotional intelligence, how to build your emotional intelligence. And we've seen that emotional intelligence is so, strong that if you do not have it, then you live a life that is not fulfilled. You live a sad life, because IQ and EQ, or IQ is about intelligence. It's more inborn. But EQ, or rather emotional intelligence, emotional quotient, you have to build it up. And we've listened to Pearl for some time now, and we realize that this emotional intelligence, while it is low because you have conditioned yourself, or you've been conditioned by the society or the people around you in a certain way, and this way your emotional intelligence goes lower. But when you realize who you are in God's eyes, and the fact that we are all equal before the eyes of God, then you cannot belittle yourself in any way. You cannot see yourself, any smaller than any other person. So here we are continuing with, these conversations. We have looked at self-awareness, and now we are continuing with this conversation so that we can gain more from Pearl, so that continually we live a happy life, with a life that is of high emotional intelligence. So we continue with this conversation.
Yeah, we were talking about self-awareness.
Yeah.
We have realized that we need to understand ourselves, accept ourselves, work on self, invest in self.
Yeah.
Investing in self is like you need to acquire knowledge more on how to make yourself happy.
Now this is in self-management.
Now we are going to self-manage. We are going to self-management. Now we have done the self-awareness. We want to do self-management now. Now to manage that, to manage self, you must be able now to know how to handle when it comes.
Yeah.
How you can be able to shut when you are supposed to speak. Because it is you to make that decision.
Okay.
Maybe you have learned to burst out, and now you have realized, for me to get where I am going, I must learn to keep quiet when I'm supposed to speak. How you can be able to handle when it comes and manage it. And it's just simple. You must accept.
Yeah.
kitu ya kwanza you realize it's a problem you have.
Yeah.
Accept you have a problem.
You're
And
aware
now-
of the problem. Now you are
You
in
accept.
managing it, you have to accept it.
Yes. To manage, you have to accept it's a problem. And now for me to get where I want to go, I have to work on it.
Yeah.
You have to manage it. Now to be able to manage it, you have to sit down and look at how you react on things. Because emotion is usually, as we said, just around bitterness, anger, being stirred up and all that.
Yeah.
So it is just, to manage that, it's just about how you handle. It's about handling. And you have to calm down and realize, maybe tuseme kama wewe leo, you have a boss.
Yeah.
Akuje tu maybe ako start up from home. Just starting up is positive and negative.
Yeah.
Akuje akuachilie maneno tu hivi, mwangalie ulize. Sasa kwa kuwa wewe ni boss, sasa umefika hapo. So unasahau kwamba you need to control yourself.
Yeah.
Then you react. Hiyo reaction inaweza kupotezea job, ikakupotezea integrity yako, ama maybe where else you can go. Unapatanga tu, unakuanga tu na hiyo, unaumia moyo kwa, why did I do it? Why could I control myself?
Yeah.
Now you sit down, call yourself in a meeting and say from today, this is now, si ile ya kuzaliwa. I have to work on it.
Yeah.
I have to manage self. Vile ungepewa kampuni manage, manage self first. Yes.
Because, wow, that is because a lot of people never think that you're in a position to manage yourself. They say that this is how I was born. In our
It
family
doesn't
line, we
matter.
have, anger outbursts. And so when it comes, I just go all out.
So hizo za jamii yako zitakufungia milango.
Ukweli.
For you to go where you want to go, you must drop what happens in your family
And
work on
manage
it.
it.
That's where you're going to invest in it. You pray about it. Maybe you fast about it, or you have to invest, either in time or what you do, what thing you can do.
Wow,
Yeah,
I
to be
love
able
that.
to create it out.
I love that
Yes.
because now it means now we get to be in control of who we are
Yeah.
and whatever we do. Wow, this is powerful.
Then from there we go to social awareness. So you have to learn the kind of people you have around you, understand how they behave.
Yeah.
Kuna mmoja anakuanga pita, mwingine anakuanga hivi, mwingine anakuanga hivi. So you have to understand them, learn how they behave, learn how you have to be aware of them so that you can be able to help them.
Yeah.
Wakati maybe kitu anafanya akifai, itakuwa easy kumsaidia because you are already intelligent emotionally. But you have to start self. Ndio uweze kwenda kwa mwingine. Whether it is in family, you can tell them wakati watu wao wenyewe wameona something has changed in you.
Sure.
Say for example, in a place of work ama home. Wakati mtu ameokoka, kuna vile tu life huwa ina change tu, tabia tuna change automatically.
Yeah.
Hata kama hukujua what has happened to you, something inaonekana kitu inafanyika ndani yako. There's something working inside that person which has brought change.
Yeah.
So you will be able to see. Yeah. So wakati una work on others around you, you must be able to direct them and help them when yours is strong. Then the same way in managing them.
Yeah.
Managing relationships, because they are four. Managing your relationship. Relationship is in the family. Relationship is also in your place of work.
Yeah.
And outside there, even in church.
Yeah.
Kama kuna watu emotionally wanaumizwa sana ni makanisani. Sijui labda yenu ni special. But kuna hizo tu vitu tu tutakuonyesha ni kama Yesu anakaanga kwetu, lakini wewe you don't qualify. Wakristo wako na katabia kukuweka chini. Yeah. It's like ungetaka kuona pastor anakuangalia zile saa. And why you? Unaona? And it's your pastor.
Very toxic, sure.
Me, I don't like calling my pastor bishop because a bishop oversees churches. But a pastor is a pastor to my soul. So if I want to talk to him, I should be able to access him because he is
pastor.
ministering to my soul.
Yeah.
But a bishop oversees churches. Churches are thousands. So by the time he finds me, I will be emotionally low.
You'll be sick already.
Yes, so that is how you are able now to do it. You can be able now even to help others. When you are emotionally strong, you can even, people will look at you and you become a role model. I want to be like so-and-so. They look unto you and they desire to be like you.
Yeah.
Because anything around you is something you can taste. You can be able to direct and you can be able to teach and you can be able to direct other people into where they are going because you are emotionally intelligent. But when you are low, you can't help even yourself, nor the people around you. Then when you are low, you become a problem to others.
Yeah.
Relationships, Zako, when you have low emotional intelligence, your relationships are always in problem.
They are disastrous.
Yeah, whether family, whether work, whether whatever it is, there's a problem. So, na because some of them ni kama, sema niyo kusema kuzaliwa, na uambiangwi. Ushasikianga watu waambiangwi?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. Kianza kuongea na kwambia, no, I can't stand this. Mimi najua mtu hajaiandikwa sahi ako 36, 37 years. Akienda tu akikuwa directed mahali ameenda kuandikwa. Mimi si mtu wa kuambiwa kuwa ordered around. Sasa which earth will you live? Where nobody will order you around. And you don't have your own empire you are building that you order others around. So you just sit in your mother's house. You're still there at 37 years.
I've had a case where some guy was employed in a certain company, and part of the people that he found, the colleagues, were very vile, very rough.
Yes.
I can call this guy a very emotionally intelligent person because when he got there, every other person was in fear of a certain lady. Even clients used to not want to be served by this lady because she was very, I don't know whether she was full of bitterness, but she was very vile and vulgar at the same time towards this person. But then the company had retained her for a long time. And you see some companies, they will still keep this person because somehow they are performing. But the relationship between this person and others is very, very bad. Now, this young man, when he came into the company, he used to be told, don't talk to so-and-so. In fact, when you go to her, address her in a certain manner so that she can listen to you. But this guy, I don't know what power he had because he always used to talk to this lady. Even whenever she could talk back and talk that vulgar language, he could laugh and tell her, and you're very funny, do you know that? And then he could continually laugh and take it easy.
Hiyo ndiye dawa ya mtu kama huyo.
So eventually, years later, this lady changed totally, 100%. You know, like 180 degrees change. And when I look now at such a case, it's where this guy was aware of himself already, and now was here socially aware of the problems in his environment. And he was able to manage all this and manage this relationship. And eventually this lady was able, even today, she's very happy. She's not the person that she used to be.
So you find that lady maybe she was brought up by a very arrogant person. And she became bitter.
Very arrogant also.
So she was self-defensive ever. So she needed someone who will just ignore her self-defense like that person.
Yeah.
And that's how now social awareness, social management.
It's actually very simple because the moment I am aware, let me break this down for our viewer, that first of all, you have to be self-aware. Be aware of yourself, the things that trigger you and your emotions, you know, that are hapakule. Then the moment you are aware, then start on self-management.
Yes.
In self-management, you work on your problems. If it is anger outbursts, if it is those frustrations, feelings that you feel, you have now to start managing them and, you know, investing to make sure that these things do not come back to you. You start to get hands-on with those feelings that you have so that they don't get out, right? And if they don't get out, then you're in a place of control. And then that is a moment where you would call yourself, you've already managed all that. And then you can go out now to the social awareness, where you are aware of you know, the emotions around you. When you are aware of those, again, because you have managed to manage your own self, then you can also manage for those others. And then next is the relationship management, that when you're able to be aware of the social, social awareness, then you move next to now managing all the relationship that you have. Did I get that right?
Yes.
We are moving on forward.
I usually do team building. I'm a team builder for companies.
Yeah.
And I'm asking for a job. Yeah. So usually what happens in team building, what we usually help companies with is like something like that. We will come and have you sit and give you a game to see your communication between your staffs. That game will be something that you must communicate to be able to achieve what I've told you to do. Maybe something you're building up. So you must be able, the 5 of you or 4 of you, communicate to be able to do it. So if you have problem of communication in the office, I look at you and I say, you and you don't even talk in the office. You are not even able to talk while doing the game. So I'll push until you talk. By the time you give me the results of that game, you are all laughing. And I restore relationship in that office. Maybe I give you a game on trust, something to check on your trust and accountability. The way you do it together, you can be able to tell these people have a good relationship or no. Maybe I'm looking at intelligence and who is the best, who has great brains among you. Tawapatia ka game kenye ni ngumu kuando. Mkienda kumaliza, I can see among you has a great brain. Lakini atakuwa na great brain lakini emotionally low. So you also need to work on that. By the time you come back to the office, performance in the office inaenda juu sana.
Okay.
So we do team building with a purpose to restore what people have lost. Watu wanakaa kwa ofisi moja lakini unapata. Unajua kuna hiyo mnapigania umenipita, mkubwa nakupenda, jealousy. So hizo vitu sometimes zikibuild for long zinaletanga shida na unapata performance ya ofisi inaanza kwenda chini. That's why it's good to go for an holiday. And you call me and you pay me, don't say God bless you.
Now, Pal, I think we are going into the tips of how to build emotional intelligence.
Yes.
And one you've just said is communication skills.
I have like 4 keys on how to do that. You know what happens when you are emotionally low. Number 1, tumesema social. Your mental health, your physical health, and even your performance in school or place of work is affected.
Okay, even our mental health.
By the way, nimekwambia suicidal and emotions, they are just like that. Hadi katikati ya mtu ako emotionally low intelligence na mtu mwenye anataka kujinyonga, the difference ni kitu you can't see. Hakuna, yani kama ushaona hapa hivi hata ninaweza kuona, ni kitu you can't see. So to cross this side is very easy. Very easy. Akifika mwisho aone hawa watu wanielewangi. So nobody is listening to them. Hapo ndio kuisha, mtu anaanza kuisha, unapata mtu ameanza kutaka kujiua. Unaangalia, why should this person want to kill themselves? They like have everything around them. There's a vacuum in their life they need to fill. What is that vacuum? Kuna kitu Mungu anataka mtu akue ajapata. Na hawezi kuipata kwa sababu ako emotionally low. Amejaribu kuachieve the people around that person, wote wanamweka chini. And there's no one to listen to that person. And that's why sometimes I usually say there's a voice between maybe your boss, your family, place of work, ama nyumbani kama tuseme wanafunzi. Kuna mwalimu, kuna mwanafunzi na kuna mzazi. There's another voice hapo katikati inahitajika yenye haitaongea kama mwalimu wala mzazi. It comes to tell you something soft. Tuseme kama for example, me I deal with drunkards, so maybe ama watu wako na drug addiction. Huyo mtu hata ukimpatia shati atauza akanunue drugs. Ni kweli? Huyo mtu ndio akusikize. Kwa sababu kile kimefanya aende kwa hiyo kwa sababu kuna kitu vacuum hiyo tunatafuta. Anataka kwanza umlete kumuonyesha hajafanya makosa. Umuonyeshe vile unampenda vile alivyo. na how he is the best at the way he is, and that he can change if he wants. Lakini ukikuja na ile confrontation, hii tabia yako,
na
utaishia wapi?
nyingi.
Wewe ni mtu tu wa kutupa, hakuna kitu naweza ukafanya. Huyo mtu hakuna. Nisikia mwingine alikuwa na mtoto wake alikuwa anakunywa drugs. Sasa akiambiwa anasema, mimi nangojaga tu niambiwa amekufa nitiwe maiti nikazike. So that boy hears you say that. Usually huyo mtu tamtoa hapo. Umefika mwisho, but you need someone like me. I'll speak a different language.
Sure.
I'll restore this person. Akuwe mtu mwingine hata uwezi imagine. Yes. Kwa sababu there is a voice that is required. Katikati ya mchungaji, mama, wa shule, yani akona position tofauti, ana balance zote, na anakuwa na soft landing ground. Yeah, that will bring out. Because if not so, as you have said, kuna effects zinakuanga 4. Place of work inakuwa affected ama school. You are either working or you are in school, usually. Your mental health. Wakati akili imeacha kufanya vizuri, you don't plan, you have no goals, you have no intentions, and you are like, where uko, it is the end of the world. Tumesema, you wake up in the morning, unasema, saa 5, jioni itafika lini? You have nothing to do. You are thinking about nothing. You are just there. And it's very easy to think about suicide because you don't have a future. Such people, unapata, you get your salary and drink it, all of it one day. Because you don't have a purpose, you don't have a plan, you have no goals. But there's something you are searching. There's a vacuum that you need to know. You need a voice to tell you something you have not heard.
Okay.
Ni acceptance. Issue mkubwa hapa ni kukubalika. Unapatanga spirit ya rejection imeingia sana kwa jamii. And as I said, when you get pregnant and you don't want a boy and you find that it's a boy, and you say, mabijana kila siku, huyo mtoto amesikia. You will have to work on that for that person to be emotionally intelligent. Because rejection was had right in the womb. A subconscious commands conscious.
All right.
Yes.
Madam Pal. Yeah, they are very heavy points. I hope, my dear viewer, you are following along with us. And you can hear, if you have low emotional intelligence, it will even affect your mental health, your physical health. And it's a whole lot of things that we need to be very careful about our emotional intelligence. And we are continuing with this conversation on how to build it. First of all, we've seen communication is very important. And another voice that is not, the regular things that we hear, that is school, that is our parents or anything. We need another voice that is close to a voice of God. Now, we are going on a break. Please don't touch that dial. We'll be back in a few.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, my dear viewer. We are continuing with our conversation on building your emotional intelligence. You can join our conversation on our SMS line 21144 and on all our social media handles at GBS TV Africa. Now, this conversation is building me. I hope it's building you, because for sure we've seen that we have to be self-aware. We have to be aware of our emotions. Next, we have to manage our emotions. We have to manage ourselves. Next, we are able to manage the social, our society, the people around us. And next, then we can be able to even manage and have good relationships once we have conquered our emotions, once we have built our emotional intelligence. Now, as we go on with the conversation, we realize that our emotional intelligence affects our mental health, our physical health. And as we continue with this, Pearl is giving us more so that we can be able to build our emotional intelligence and live the best lives here on earth, right? Yeah. So Pearl, let's go on with this conversation. How continually do we build our emotional intelligence?
No, I want us to look at tips on how, when you are emotionally high, how you can be able to help others. And we start a place of work. Yeah. Or let me say school. If if the people around you and the management around you, let's say school or work, realize your EQ is high, you are able maybe to to lead
Yeah.
and be an example to others. Some companies now, they even test EQ. Initially, they were testing IQ.
It's true.
But
It's
if
true.
you come for an interview and they want to get the best out of you, they will stir you to anger.
Actually, that's what they do these days.
Yes, yes. So when they test your EQ and you win, you will be the best, more than someone having IQ who can control their emotions. So we need to work on that.
Sure.
Number 2, it is our physical health. When you are emotionally low, that is a root cause of stress, depression, cancers, and so many sicknesses. But if you can be able to control and work on that, you will be a healthy person. We have seen cases where you find, like, there was a research that most of the cancers among women, the source of it is anger and bitterness.
It's true. I had someone say that whenever we get angry and we are carrying all these bad emotions within us, they are sort of a poison in our system, and they come out.
Let me
as
give you a very good
sicknesses.
example. If you anger me and you become bitter with me, you don't want to see me, you may not be able to sleep because you are thinking about what I did to you. But I'm having my stress zangu zinaendelea.
Sure.
I'm not even careful. I'm not even aware. Let's pick an example of a relationship. Let's say a guy dumps someone. Then you become so bitter, you don't want to do anything. But maybe he has moved, he has someone else. And let me tell you, people are being born. You're the last one.
Sure.
Just if he garbages you, garbage him and move on.
And move on.
Because you waste your emotions, you waste your feelings.
And your
And as you
energies.
are doing that, you are bringing poison. It's like I'm taking poison expecting you to die. Because you don't sleep, I sleep.
That's huge.
Who is dying in this poison?
I'm taking poison and I'm expecting you to die.
You will die and we'll have to bury you.
I hope my dear here heard that if you're angry with another person or carrying all these and harboring all these bad emotions because of another person, you're taking and drinking the poison, expecting the person you're angry about to die. I hope you heard that.
So usually stress, high blood pressure, stroke, all these, most of them, they have come out of bitterness. When you are angry and you're not able to forgive, it builds and becomes bitterness.
Yeah.
Bitterness now starts flowing into your veins and works on you. You find yourself with a cancer, you have depression, you have stress, and why are you destroying yourself? We said love, self.
Self.
So drop them and move on.
Sure.
Yeah, because when you drop that person and show them you have no need of them, they also feel kweli watu wao umenitupa. Akishajua sasa huyu mtu analangi, atakuonyesha kile ujui. And that's why people are killing themselves. This morning I saw something. A woman was down to be by her husband. She killed 2 children and took a knife to. Life is so sweet. Why should you die? Working in this country.
I think
Especially
usually
Kenya, the best environment you can find.
There's this phrase that the youth love to use, that whenever a person makes you an option, stop making yourself an option. Choose yourself and make yourself a priority.
And I said you are the best in town. Start with self.
Yeah.
Others they are called others. In fact, it's the best word. They are called others. I'm number 1. They are others.
Then others.
Yes.
That is strong.
That's why you find nowadays, because of low emotional intelligence, killings are all over. Imagine mpaka unasikia because of 100 shillings. Umetuma mtoto akapoteza pesa kwa njia. Unamwagia maji, unasahau. Mtoto kwenda kwa kitanda alale kwa hospitali hiyo kidonda kabla ipone. Utalia. Ile pesa utatumia hapo. So it is just about controlling emotions. So health, tumesema kuna depression, kuna hiyo, unaweza pata stroke, unaweza pata cancer, all that. So
Blood pressure,
physical
kidney
health.
diseases and all.
Let's go to now mental health. Yeah. Sasa wewe umepoteza tu network vizuri for no reason. Utachukua Biblia ujaribu kusoma uone wanaandika nini. Unaenda kanisani usikie wanasema nini.
Nothing makes sense.
Ukisikia no, you can't hear anything. You have lost it because it is just about others. Let me tell you. This emotional intelligence, usually, there's a second person causing you to be emotionally low or high.
Yeah.
Someone is angering you. Huwezi jikasirisha. Just pata mtu anasema nimejikasirikia sita kuwa na hii mguu yangu. Hakuna. Someone does that to you. So it's about others. And we say it start with self. When you work on self, love self, and invest in self, you won't allow people to do that to you.
Sure.
When they do it, because they can do it, you shut them. Yes. It's good to have dialogue. It's good to restore relationships. But let me tell you, tuseme tumekosana, na mimi nataka turudiane, tuongee, tumalizie maneno, na wewe utaki. So, mimi, I will forgive myself that I was ready to allow this relationship to be restored. You don't want. So, I heal myself, you go on with your garbage. Yes. Because usijibebeshe watu sana. Utaumia. A life is too sweet, as I said.
At the end of the
Especially
day,
to walk in the streets of this country.
Yes, yes. Life is so sweet. Life is beautiful.
Yeah.
At the end of the
There's
day,
a verse in the Bible that says, life is in the hands of God in your nostrils. Unaona hapa hivi? Iko tu hapa mikononi mwa Mungu.
Kama zile ng'ombe zinawekeangwa ile.
Yeye ndiye amekuruhusu tu kupumua kutoka asubuhi. So anawaangalia kanaona tukiwa wajinga saa ingine. You are taking a lot of time kuchukua kisu ujidunge. Why? Amekuruhusu tu kuishi. He's so kind. Anakuangalia tuna ujinga wako. And as we said, don't be anxious of anything.
Of anything.
Let me use that scripture tukienda kumaliza.
Yeah.
Takanga tu kuhakikisha unajua mimi ni pastor, so I don't leave my pastoring when I'm doing motivation. And of course it is the best thing to do.
Yes, yes.
Let's say Philippians chapter 4, the verse ile inajulikana na kila mtu hata yule hakwenda kanisani.
Philippians chapter 4.
Chapter 4 verse 4.
Can I read that one for you?
Yeah, soma 4 mpaka 6.
4 mpaka 6. Rejoice in the Lord always. And again I say rejoice. Let your moderation be known unto all men. The Lord is at hand. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known unto God.
Ukisoma hiyo kitu emotional intelligence yako inaenda juu
Inaenda
automatically.
juu automatically.
Why can't you rejoice? Yeye amesema rejoice.
Rejoice. In always.
Always.
Whether things look good or bad. Yeah.
Then your gentleness be known to all. Why are you not gentle? Kwa sababu you are emotionally low.
Yeah.
Then be anxious or be careful of nothing. Because you must be careful
Don't
about,
worry about anything.
It's about worry.
Yeah.
It's about worry.
Wow. Well, I love this because the moment you bring in the the divinity, God into this whole thing, then you don't have any other option but be emotionally intelligent.
Yeah. You stop living. Let me give you a final scripture. Ni ruhusu tu. Ya mwisho na itakusaidia emotionally. It is Proverbs chapter 16. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 3. Jani some hapa nikufungulie. Chapter 16 and verse 3. The Bible says, commit your works unto the Lord and your thoughts shall be established. So, what you do, it was an idea. Let's say you have a business.
Yeah.
You had an idea. It was a thought.
Yeah.
Commit that,
To
and
the
then you
Lord.
have that brought into actual. You are doing work.
Yeah.
This is a business you are doing. Like me, nauza nguo. Sawa. You had an idea, so I put a business. So I commit it to God. Then He establishes that thought and brings me customers, and I take a rest. Then hapo uta relax, because we try to do everything for ourselves. Anasema mpatie. When I commit something to you, I withdraw.
You know, you've talked something about rest, and I think all this emotional
Turbulence.
it's all because we are not at rest, and we do not know the power that God has in our lives.
He has said, commit to me. I establish it. Then
He's saying He will establish our thoughts.
yes.
How nice. How nice and how powerful.
Ukipata hiyo utakuwa low.
For sure.
Nobody will stand on your way.
Automatically,
you will clean up
we
and
become-
walk through everything. Nothing will stand on your way. You see everything as easy, and you become a role model and help others.
Sure.
Yes.
Because when I look at the things that are happening around, previously we've seen that lady who was harassed, and I think that was so low because people there are very emotionally low. But now when everyone thinks of themselves in the idea and in the image of God, we don't have any other option but be these people that God destined us to be.
Yes.
Na hatuna shida yoyote because he's telling us that for sure he's going to establish our thoughts.
And he says you can't even change the color of your hair by thinking. So why you turmoil so much? Just commit to him. Let him establish your thoughts. And take a back seat. Let him drive.
Take a back seat and let God drive.
Amen.
Wow. Wow. I've taken home a lot. Number one being, I love how you bring God into our lives. And being in the image of God always. Then every other problem that we have melts away.
Yeah.
All the emotional issues that we have melts away. Because there is one thing the society has conditioned us to see us in ourselves in a different light. But then when you bring God and when we see ourselves as God sees us, then our frequency and our emotional intelligence rises in a very, very high way. Because I'm thinking, the moment you mention God, every other thing, it's like, hata tumemaliza.
Inakwanga imeisha.
Inakwanga tu
Lakini
tumemaliza.
sometimes we say you umempea, but you're still doing it.
It's true.
Yeah.
So
and
it's
you know
something we
he
have
has
to
nothing to do
continually...
with double-minded people.
Yeah.
So if you give him. If you want to do it, do it.
And I think that's now where the self-management is coming in.
Yes.
To continually control ourselves.
Yeah.
And continually remind ourselves who we are. Because there's also the thing you said that when you go to an office, you as Pearl, you don't have any problem that you're going to meet a man in a suit or who you're going to meet, because at the end of the day, we are all equal.
Equal before God.
And in that is so profound because people think they are low. Juu mwingine ako na job na gari kubwa, gari nono. And they can...
A car is a means of transport.
Sure.
It's your choice to have a big one or a small one. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we are all equal.
Before God.
So all the fears, all the frustrations should melt away.
Yes.
Wow, I love this conversation, Pearl.
Yeah.
So you also said about learning communication skills will also aid in building our emotional intelligence.
Yeah. There is issue of trust.
Yeah.
The jealousy is very key. It's natural among us as people. Being jealousy. Let's say now you are peers. Let's say today God opens the door for you, and you rise like the way Kanzedina just rose and went to State House. Do they think everyone was happy?
No.
Naturally, no. So they will not allow you to leave them. So you have also to be very careful.
Yeah.
Not everything that you doing you have to share.
Yeah.
Learn to be quiet. Learn sometimes the things that you do until they come out and you speak about them. Don't kill your dream by your own mouth. Yeah, you have to learn.
Because you say it and someone hates it right there.
Yeah. Some people, people think it's about witchcraft. What is witchcraft? It is just about you don't like the way it is done, you want to destroy it. So there are people by looking at something or just being, they hear the same, they just speak negative, and it kills that. So we need to be careful.
Sure.
So the issue of trust is an issue in place of work, in family, and everywhere. Yeah. There's accountability, and there's communication. All those things you have to work on them.
Yeah.
On a personal life, in any area, you just look at how you handle them.
Yeah.
Then you become a role model.
Sure.
Everybody will desire to be like you.
And you be the best that you can be.
Yes. Then you can be able to lead, direct, and show them the way.
I like the fact that on emotional intelligence we have control, we take responsibility.
Yes.
Because now I don't expect to hear anyone that has listened to this conversation that this is how we are, this is how we are born.
You have to refuse, you have to say no.
Yes,
no.
You have to take
and
control.
Build yourself to what you think is the best. Read around. The The most important thing is about learning from those who are ahead of you. There are books to read. Nowadays you can get everything in the internet. Tegemea ukiingia kwa unaangalianga nini. And as we said about biological clock, time is going. The time you have is that you have now. Yeah. And you don't know tomorrow whether you will be there. So the time you have is now. Whatever has gone has left you. You didn't invest in it, you lost it. So invest on now. Read around, read widely. Acquire knowledge on areas that can be able to help you.
Wow, I like that because you cannot manage yourself from an emptiness. You have to have that knowledge. And like you said, there's also the voice. Someone like Pearl. She has this organization that helps people to realize who they are, to realize
to stir
their
you
purpose.
up. The main word is stirring you up.
Now,
You push you out of your comfort zone.
Utoke
kwa kulala, utoke nje uende ukafanya kitu.
Now, with a voice like you as then, someone does not have any option but, to be emotionally intelligent. Listening to, you have a YouTube channel that people can...
I have a YouTube channel, Star with Pearl. Star with Pearl.
Now, listening to the conversations that are in there, then this is knowledge that someone will need. All of us will need in building our emotional intelligence. So I love this because we are responsible of who we are, who we become. And something else you've said, read widely. In gaining all this knowledge, in reading you gain...
That's something what I think we can share that. When you wake up in the morning, the first 5 minutes, what you hear builds your spirit of your day. So learn to wake up in the morning, identify what to listen to. Maybe it's a prayer, maybe it's someone preaching, maybe someone talking some kind of intelligence like we are talking today. Learn to hear something like that in the morning. Someone that you feel your spirit loves to hear about. Then that will carry the spirit of the day. Because let's say you wake up in the morning and you hear people fighting. The whole day will be confused. So you control what your ear hears. Let me tell you. The Bible says the heart is like, your heart is source of everything, so you guard it. Your hands are the highway to your heart. Your ears are the highway to your heart. Control what you hear. Control what you see. Control where you go. And what you touch with your hands. Because what I hear today is my ears. It will go straight to my heart. What I see, it will go straight to my heart. It starts to build. Maybe negative, positive, it will be poison, or it will build me. Where my feet, I take it. Ni mimi nita control niende wapi. Ni mimi nilipeleka hiyo miguu hapo. If something happens to me when I'm there, I am responsible. Because I'm supposed to control where I go. What I touch with my hands, you have to control. It's an highway to your heart. So you have time to control that.
Wow, and in living now, and now we've learned that we have to control everything that comes to our heart, because out of the heart is the issues of life. I love that morning, the power session in the morning, because the moment you have this nice spirit, you have this powerful spirit, then you will start the day on a note of being emotionally positive, emotionally intelligent. And if this becomes our everyday, then there's no day that someone will get themselves to a point of wanting to kill themselves or other people.
You stay high. There's one thing I want us to don't want to leave out. It's about parents. No, some of the things that has gone wrong in people's lives is how we handle our parents. God made one man. And he get parents that work to multiply people. So your parents are your second God. And your mother, whether she dumped you after giving birth to you, she gave you an opportunity to live. The day she conceived to the day she gave birth, she could make a decision to abort you. So she gave you the privilege to live. Your father, that seed he planted that day, Whether he left it and went and never came back, is the existence where you are sitting here today.
Sure.
Whether he educated you or not, you are his existence. So God partners with parents for us. And that's what the Bible says. Honor your father and your mother that you may live long and it may be well with you. Living long and being wellness has nothing to do with vegetables and exercise.
With your parents.
It is about honoring your father and mother, biological. If you don't know them, go and look for them. Kama wewe ni mtoto wa single mother. Look for that guy. That's why you are walking. Mamako angekupata, si ni kweli? Mwanamke hana mbegu, si ni kweli? So you find maybe alichapwa, akakosewa, anakupanda vitu huyu mtu usingetaka kumuona, but that guy is you.
Yeah.
Hiyo unapita hivi, hiyo ni blood inapita kwake kwa your veins. It is his seed. That's how great he is.
Sure.
And he carries a word in his mouth. An example of Jacob and Esau. The Bible says Abraham was the richest man. Isaac was so rich because he was given everything Abraham had. We don't find Esau and Jacob fighting over wealth.
Yeah.
But they are fighting over blessings of the mouth.
Yeah.
To the level ya kuana.
Blessings
So
of the mouth.
there is the difference between blessing and blessings. Blessing is spirit. It is spoken by the mouth. Unaweza kuwa hata umetoka bila nguo, umetoka na kamfuko kako na shati moja, but you are carrying that blessing of the mouth and you will affect your world.
Wow.
That's another topic.
Here, I love this conversation. I wish it could go on and on, but kindly give your parting shot.
Okay.
And we'll be here
Thank
again
you so
someday.
much.
Yes, it's so beautiful.
Okay. For those who joined us later, I'm Pearl Blessing. I'm the founder of Star with Pearl. We star people to realize who they are and know what you didn't know, or you knew you didn't know, or you don't know. And my office is at Embassy House. It is opposite Sharia House or DP's office. And you can find me there. My number is 0725 514948. 0725 514948. You can find us on social media, Star with Pearl in YouTube, Star with Pearl in Facebook, and also Penny Pearl. Usually Penny Pearl, huwa inatokea sana because it carries the Google. You can go to Penny Pearl, you'll find all that we do there. And God bless you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm also excited.
Wow, thank you very much. God bless you for all this knowledge that you're sharing with us.
Yes.
I am stirred. And I hope my viewer has been stirred, because these conversations, you don't find them anywhere else but here. And now you are going to also follow Pearl, because she has all this knowledge that we need. We've been talking about building your emotional intelligence, and we've seen how you can build yours. And by the fact that God already created you with you as a full package, then you don't have any business being low, because you are who you are and you are the idea of God that is also divine. So I'm happy to have had you listening with us, and also I hope you can continue with this conversation also on all our social media handles at GBS TV Africa, and also on our SMS line at 21144. And until next time, bye bye.